Let's see if I'm live. All right, cool. So I am live. Gotta love that clickbait thumbnail. No, but seriously, that is what I'm going to be drinking: watermelon water and coconut water. First time doing it, but I think I might wait a little bit just until there are more people that are in the chat. But I wanted to apologize in advance if you're watching this after the fact of the stream. I apologize in advance. My neighbors are a little loud, and at the same time, they have kids, crying babies. Makes it kind of difficult to film, especially in terms of live streaming. So, but yeah, so I have all the comments up. Not as many as last time, surprisingly, but nonetheless, I'm very glad with everyone that did comment in the comment section with questions. These were really good questions. I looked at them a little bit. That's why I made sure to, like the comments. So it would pretty much be improv. I just figured just so that way you guys can have this video out ASAP because I know I haven't been releasing videos as much as of late. So I do apologize about that. But while I'm waiting, watermelon water. Coconut water. That's non-alcoholic cocktail hour for Chad. And then, voila. Cheers. Oh, that tastes really good. All right. I'll put this stuff back, and then I will get to the questions. All right. Just like that, I'm back. All right. So I'll start from bottom. I guess it really doesn't matter because the comments seem to be out of order. But all the comments were in the 2-day time period, which is good. The first comment I'll get to is Stephanie O'Brien, who said, I think I might be number 500, 499 at least. So this I want to address right off the bat. So I guess I jumped the gun because I saw I got 500 subscribers. So I immediately just sent out that 1-minute video. And then, of course, 12 hours later or so, I then see that I had 498. And I was like, okay, did I lose 2 subscribers? Was it the YouTube algorithm? And then it turns out I lost 1 subscriber, I think, because it's at 499 now, or maybe I gained a subscriber and it was that I actually lost 2. I don't know. Either way, I do apologize about that. It wasn't that I was, I guess trying to get attention or anything. It was just genuinely speaking, I had 500 and then I guess I lost it, or the YouTube algorithm gave me 500. Regardless, here we are. Jacob Stanfield says, what actor has the greatest eyebrows? I think I would have to say Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, what can I say about the guy that hasn't already been said? The guy's a legend. There's so much expression behind them. I don't know. He's personally my favorite actor. I wouldn't say because of his eyebrows, but I would definitely say that. I mean, the best actors for me are the ones that are able to emulate a lot of expressions, and he's able to do that. So yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis has the greatest eyebrows, in my opinion. But let me double check. I just gotta check the comment section. I just want to make sure that people can comment. Okay, cool, they can. All right, I apologize about that. All right, let's get back to the comments. Hunter Doyle, let's go. Congrats, Chad. Thanks, Hunter. I appreciate it. I didn't think I would get to 500, honestly, truth be told. each time I hit one of these milestones, I'm just grateful that I have people that are just willing to hear my thoughts. So it's great. I think I'm like, what's your this name? Meshkat Zaman. Will you rank your favorite non-Hollywood, non-English movies? But I swear, Meshkat, you always have the best ideas. That's not a bad idea at all. I wasn't planning to, but now that you mention it, that's not a bad idea at all. Um, I mean, it would be very difficult, honestly. But you always challenge me, and I'm always up for the challenge. So I accept. I just don't know how soon I'll be able to get the video out. Um, let's see. Campbell M. What movie or movies first inspired your love for film, and which filmmakers have influenced you the most? Man, that's a loaded question. What were the films that first? Well, 2012. So, okay, let me backtrack. One of the first movies that I remember I saw in theaters was Stuart Little. Didn't really impact me in terms of like my interest for movies and everything because at that point in my life, I mean, I was what, probably like 3 years old. I didn't go to the movies a lot in terms of like just accompanying my family and just going on my own time until I was like, I would say 14. So that was 2010. 2010, again, this is gonna be a long story, but 2010, I saw more than like 3 to 5 movies. I know at this point in time, it's kind of crazy for me to say that I only saw like 3 to 5 movies in theaters, but truth be told, that was the case. But the 3 to 5 movies I ended up seeing in 2010 were ones that really impacted me. So I saw Legends of the Guardians, the Owls of Gahul. Didn't really impact me, but I enjoyed it. Tron Legacy did kind of impact me because I had the first inclination of cinematography, like camera work, like the shot of, excuse me, I forget the main character's name, but when he's on the motorcycle and you have like the point of view shot and then he's just like moving, it just kind of made me kind of realize, oh wow, like that's a hard shot to do. And then I was like, oh, interesting. And then True Grit, I think, was what really got the ball rolling because True Grit really impacted me. I love that movie to this day. I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's not just for nostalgia. I think it's an incredible movie. I think it's very well done. But the cinematography for that really impacted me. Just the overall storytelling, the pushing of the envelope of the violence for the PG-13 rating also impacted me because at that point I wasn't allowed to watch PG-13. I mean, not PG-13. I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies. Um, my parents were against that, so that was like pushing the envelope for me. And to this day, I still think it does push the envelope. I mean, the finger slicing scene. But anyways, cut to 2011. 2011, there weren't really any movies that impacted me right away. I saw most of the nominees that year. I didn't see like the adult ones, like the further adult ones, I should say, such as like Drive or Tree Life. Tree Life, I only saw like the first 15 minutes, then I shut it off. Again, I was like 15. But 2011, there weren't really any big movies that kind of impacted me. In 2012, though, Lincoln and Skyfall. Those two movies really impacted my love for movies, and Zero Dark 30 as well. But I didn't see Zero Dark 30 until 2013. So other movies, Prisoners really impacted me. Um, so I guess those were the first movies that kind of impacted my love for movies. Now, in terms of which filmmakers have influenced you the most, I would say David Lynch and David Fincher, no doubt about it. David Lynch, like with Incisor, you probably won't see any major influences, at least right away. But I do think that David Lynch, for better or worse, kind of changed my view on movies. I mean, Mulholland Drive, was a movie I saw later on in life, like 5 years ago, but it really kind of brought to life about art house movies. At that point, I kind of knew about it, but I didn't really fully know what I was talking about. It wasn't until I saw Mulholland Drive and I was like, this is a very unique movie, more unique than any other movie with a twist that I think I've seen. And then David Fincher, just over the last couple of years, I've just really studied his filmmaking, and I really like it. I really think that he's someone that everyone should look up to because although I don't use CGI in my movies, I look to him for inspiration on like CGI that's well done because you're not able to even tell that it is CGI. I think that's kind of like the most amazing thing. Other filmmakers that inspired me. Trying to think. Those are the ones that come to mind immediately. Hmm. Nolan also pretty heavily inspired my latest movie that will be coming out soon. But good question, Campbell, and very good question. And again, I'm sorry if it was long winded. I kind of knew it was when I saw that question. I was like, oh boy, like that's going to be like story time with Chad. Um, Speaking of which, off topic, not really though, but there are some filmmakers out there I still need to watch. Some that I haven't even seen any of their stuff. So just put it out there. There are a lot of other stuff I need to watch, and yeah. Um. Oh, let me get to that. I think I lost my spot. Oh wait. Oh, here we go. Kayla Master, congrats. What's your least favorite movie of all time? Um, that's a really good question. These are all good questions. I think that would have to go to maybe Transformers 4 because that movie I actually wanted to leave. The only reason why I didn't was because at that point in time I didn't have my license and I was with friends. But yeah, 10, 15 minutes I wanted to walk out. I really did. That I mean that movie kind of did impact me though because that was when I started realizing about tempo music. I was like, wait a minute, this music is from Battleship. Steve Jablonsky is using the same music from Battleship they used for Transformers 4. So that I think Transformers 4 is probably my most hated movie, I would have to say. Um Off the top of my head at least. Um ooh. Homer Plush Studios. What has been the greatest makeup work for a film that you've seen? Oh boy. Man. See, the one that comes to mind always is like The Thing, the 1982 version. I think that makeup is amazing. But let's go without the generic answer because that's what everyone always says. I think the makeup in the new Suspiria, the 2018, was outstanding. Personally, I know a lot of other people that weren't a big fan of the makeup with that. I personally loved it. I thought it was incredible. The makeup in Pan's Labyrinth is also excellent. Pan's Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies. Um, Grand Budapest Hotel, the makeup for Madame Blanc, outstanding. I mean, Tilda Swinton again. She was obviously a lot of makeup in Suspiria, and then also Grand Budapest Hotel. So, I think that those are the ones for the running. Again, I'm sure that there are other options that I can find in my collection, but off the top of my head, those are the ones that come to mind. Um, Good question then. Hemraj, Chettery. What have been your favorite movies and TV shows of the last decade? Top 10 movies and TV shows. Um, that is a good question. Uh, so, that is a good question. I, if someone's asking, I instead of just answering on a live stream, what I'll do is I'll answer top 10 TV shows. I'll make like I have a list like actually on my phone that I'm looking at. I have the list, but what I can do is I can do like a separate video to answer that. Um, Top 10 movies of the decade. Well, of the last decade, I should say. I have like top 50 movies of the decade, but at the same time, that also was like I put all the number fives in a pile, all the number fours, threes, twos. So pretty much like it was all the number ones, but like not all the number ones were like would be my top. Well, it's hard to explain it. Let me see. Well, yeah, I think I should do a list for top 10 TV shows. With top 10 movies, I did do the videos for the top 50. Um, just so I can explain a little bit better. I'll try at least. So basically, I put all the number fives in the pile, all the fours, threes, twos, ones of like each year. So for my top 10, if you look at it, it will be like all the number ones for like each decade. Um, Hunter Doyle again. What's your top three favorite sci-fi movies? The two obvious ones are 2001: A Space Odyssey and Blade Runner. In terms of third place, that's when things kind of get difficult because I think I might put Blade Runner 2049 there. But there's a couple other options like District 9 also might make that. Uh, excuse me. I'm trying to think of other ones. Uh, drawing a blank now. Not the Matrix. Matrix is solid. Dark City would be up there. It'd be like probably top 10 or maybe honorable mention. I know I'm forgetting one that I'll kick myself later if let me check. So I can check my Blu-ray collection actually. Let me check. Uh, Let me see. Ooh, Alien would be up there too. Um, yeah, so definitely Alien. Oh, Ex Machina. How could I forget Ex Machina? I absolutely adore Ex Machina. Actually, Ex Machina might be my number three. I absolutely love that movie. I think it's one of those great achievements of like, hey, we took a lot of influence from other movies, but we made it our own. That's Ex Machina. Yeah. Okay, I'll make that one number three. Good question, Hunter. Marvel fan 45 asks, has a film ever influenced your direction in life? Why is American Beauty your favorite film? Can't wait to see the video and congrats. Good question, Marvel fan 45. Well, questions I should say. Has a film ever influenced your direction in life? Um, yes, I would say the movie Carol really had an impact on my life because so I grew up in a like a Christian household, and it was like one of those things where my family wasn't exactly pro LGBTQ. Um, but I started watching LGBTQ movies. And when I say that, I mean just kind of like saw like a couple like Brokeback Mountain, um, and then I saw Carol in theaters. Christmas is 2015, and it just I don't know. It really started making me like think about like things, and everything. And when I started thinking about it and everything, like at that point, you know, I still wasn't 100% thinking for myself, unfortunately. But I always looked at that movie as that was what planted the seed. And then a couple years later, I was like fully gelled as to like, yes, it wasn't right. My mindset, like, all those years as like a young teenager and everything. But we all live and learn. But I would definitely say Carol influenced me a lot because it really did give me perspective, and I think that that's one of the big things I would always recommend to people: give perspective. There are a lot of times where with situations and everything, with how you grew up and everything, sometimes things might be a little bit closed off or closed minded, but thankfully I had the right people to kind of open me up and everything to kind of bring me, closer to hey enlightenment, so to speak, where it's like, oh, so I've changed a lot in the last 4 or 5 years, thank God. And then Marvel Fan 45 also asked, why is American Beauty your favorite film? So American Beauty wasn't always my favorite film. The story, obviously, I have it on my Letterboxd review, but what happened was I saw it a little bit after I graduated high school. I liked it. I didn't love it at that point, but then I saw it in college for filmmaking, and I started noticing a lot of details. And I think I might have seen actually in between those two viewings, and then I saw it a couple times after that, and then I saw it with my girlfriend. It was actually our first movie that we saw together. Um, So it just was relatable. It became more and more relatable. It became more and more of a movie that had rewatchability value. I always critique movies that are comedies that aren't able to balance comedy and drama, but American Beauty, heck, it does it with such ease. It's in my opinion a perfectly crafted structure of a film. A lot of people talk about like Die Hard being a perfectly structured movie and whatnot, but for me, it has to be American Beauty that's perfectly structured. But it's just it really is great to see a movie like American Beauty get made. And I know it's one of those things where it couldn't get made today with the studios and everything. And I think that's just it. Knowing the fact that it came out at the right part of time, that's why I especially love it. Because I just know it couldn't be made today. But more importantly, I think the other thing as to why maybe it's my favorite movie as of right now, because again, my list it always changes, it fluctuates. A couple years ago, it was Shawshank Redemption. A couple years before that, it was Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Will it always be American Beauty? I don't know. But I would definitely say, just to answer your question, I think just because it's always been a movie that has been there for me, almost like a really good friend. Harley Jackson Darby, hey, love your videos, man. Congratulations on the milestone. Thanks, man. I really appreciate the support. Spread it to your friends, family. Next milestone is 600, so let's see if we can get there. I'm honestly, before I get to the other comments, I'm honestly very excited to hopefully get to 1,000 because if I get to 1,000, I can use the community tab. And if I use the community tab, I can better update you guys with like upcoming videos because I feel bad because with some of these upstream live streams, I'm like, oh yeah, this video will be coming out soon, and then life happens, and I'm not able to update you guys, and you guys are like, well, what the heck? I thought this video was supposed to come out. So I'm definitely excited to reach 1,000 for that alone. So that way there'll be better communication with, you guys and myself. So especially since I know sometimes I'm not really like, sometimes I'm MIA in the comment section. So I apologize about that. But anyways, back to the questions. To readership gamers, I feel like I've asked you all the questions. Most underrated movie, and are you into sports? And if so, what's your favorite sports team? Uh, hey, there's always plenty of questions to ask. To answer your first question, Career Chip Gamer, most underrated movie. Um, I think I might have said it last time, but Dark City I think is very underrated. Um, The Wailing. I don't think The Wailing gets talked about enough. I stumbled across it. Thank God for Letterbox. That's the only reason why I heard about it. If you had told me before October of 2019 about The Wailing, I would have been like, I've never heard of that movie. So The Wailing, I would definitely say. Um, Let me think what else. 1 second. Well, I think The Girl Who Drank Tattoo, the 2011 remake, is pretty underrated. It got some Oscar attention, like nominee wise, and it did win one for best editing, I believe. But um, I think that's underrated because it was critically well received at first, but nobody really talks about that movie, unfortunately, anymore. I think it's a masterpiece, personally. So yeah, there's a couple of different options. I don't have an exact number one, but you get the idea. Now to answer your other question. So, Viewership Gamer's other question: are you into sports, and if so, what's your favorite sports team? So to answer your question, no, I'm not into sports. I was actually my one closet. I have like binders and binders of baseball and football cards. I used to be very adamant into watching like football and baseball, and then once I became a teenager, that interest kind of went from sports to then films and TV shows, what it is today. Um, However, I will say, in terms of football, I don't watch, like I always say, and I always defend baseball because so many people are like, it's boring. I'm like, it's not boring, I don't think, at least, but I don't really watch baseball. I think it's just because of the people I'm around and everything. Football, I usually only watch the Super Bowl. If I had a choice, for football, I would either watch like Tom Brady because I know everyone hates him and everything, but you know something, Tom Brady always brings his A game and he always makes things engaging and always somehow is like behind and then has a comeback. And I don't know, it's kind of entertaining for myself. But I will say that I have been paying more attention this season just because my fellow actors that are doing my movie are really into like the Eagles and everything, like Philadelphia Eagles, and I know they're doing terrible right now, but on Sundays I have to like work around their schedule with filming and everything, and that revolves around the Eagles. So I always pay attention now to the games and everything as to when they're playing and everything. So no, I'm not into sports, but I was into sports. Um, and in terms of what teams I would watch, whatever team Brady's on. um, Service Ace of Diamonds, aka my good friend Alex Diamond, really good friend actually. He says, "Congratulations on your second milestone in 1 week." Yeah, he knows what's up. My question: what is your favorite Prison Break slash Escape from Captivity that was featured in a movie? Uh See, I would say Shawshank Redemption. Um, Not going to spoil that movie, but I do think that has an incredible escape. But it might actually have to be the Grand Budapest Hotel. I don't know though. I don't know. It's between those two. It's between the Grand Budapest Hotel. That escape scene from prison, I think, is absolutely hilariously bonkers. I love it. I think it's incredible. But the Shawshank Redemption one, especially the first time you watch it, is just outstanding. So I would say it's between one of those two. Tom Collins says, "I'm not sure if the 48 hours are up, but who are some of your favorite movie characters?" So Tom, if you're watching this, you beat it, thankfully, the 48 hours, so you're good. Some of my favorite movie characters. Well, I would 100% say Daniel Plainview from There Be Blood is one of my favorite. Um, the hold that thought. Alex from Clockwork Orange is one of my favorite as well. Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. Excuse me. Let me think of a couple others. There's a lot that I really like, so might be here a little bit of a while. Um, I think it's fascinating. I think it's Camille. Oh, and who's Camille and Rita? I think those are the two from Mulholland Drive. I love those two movie characters. I think they're very fascinating. Um, Second, Maximus from Gladiator, I think is pretty awesome. Uh, Rick Deckard from Blade Runner, especially in the second one. I think he's great in that, even more so, honestly. I don't know. I have a lot of favorite movie characters, to be honest, but those are just some of the ones, just to get an idea. Ooh, before I answer the other questions, Connor Holt, do you think that Mank is going to be another Ed Wood? Honest to God, I hope so. I love Ed Wood. I think Ed Wood's a great movie. Um, I've seen some people have reviewed it already. Critics obviously reviewed it like a month or so ago because of screeners, but there are a couple people on Letterboxd that I follow that have seen the movie and they said it was okay, which I find hard to believe because it's David Fincher, but that could just be the fanboy in me. But yes, I hope it's like Ed Wood. I'm planning to possibly rewatch Citizen Kane and then watch Mank right after. At least that's the plan. Hopefully, it follow through. But the question is, Connor, do you think Mank is going to be another Ed Wood? Because I'm hoping it will be. Get the phone for this one. Uh, Easy like congrats. I just said 500 to even made a how-to video about it. Oh, that's awesome, man. It's really a pretty big accomplishment, I think. Because I have some friends that started doing YouTube channels too. Like several years ago, actually around the same time I did, and they didn't stick to it. Um, but as long as you stick to it, you should be good to go. Um, just gotta stick with it, man. That's the big part. Connor Holt, honestly, I kind of do. That's what I'm hoping. I don't think it's gonna be a bad movie, and honestly, I think that it will make 2020 good for films because I feel like 2020 has been kind of lackluster for movies. I really haven't seen that many 2020 movies like as much as I usually have in terms of the last couple of years. But I've seen almost 50, so it's still above average. But I don't know. I've just been kind of disappointed with a lot of releases. A lot of these movies that we've been getting in quarantine, it's like, oh, 95% around tomatoes, and then I watch it, I'm like, it was okay. And I don't want that to be the case with Mank. Mank's got to be great. All right. So West Productions, Wes. Congrats on 500 subs, man. You're definitely my favorite movie reviewer on YouTube. Can't wait to see your channel blow up. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that. But anyways, here's my question. And sorry in advance if you answered any of these before. Who are some of your favorite movie characters? Have you seen any Studio Ghibli movies? And if so, what do you think of them? And which one is your favorite? What are some of your favorite movie scores and soundtracks? Yeah, someone else, Tom Collins asked, what are some of your favorite movie characters? So, but I can give you an answer to that too, just to add on to that. Let me see, Mr. Gustav, from Grand Budapest Hotel. I'll add on to the list. I think is also up there. Craig Schwartz from Being John Malkovich, I think is hilarious. Lester Burnham from American Beauty, I think is also great. Um, I think, oh, what's it called? Dirk Diggler from Boogie Nights is pretty awesome. And I forget his name in the movie. I know I should. Oh, 1 second. I'm gonna brain fart. Oh, let me look this up. It's because it's gonna kill me. Now it's gonna bother me. It's another. It's another character, Paul Thomas Anderson character. Ah, there it is. Barry Egan from Punch Drunk Love. I can't believe I forgot his name. But those are just to answer your question. What's production? Those are some of the other ones. Studio Ghibli movies. I've seen a couple. Forget the names off the top of my head. I don't really have a favorite one. I think that they're all solid. They get the job done. But I don't love any of them the way that a lot of other people do. So I can't really say which is my favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen too many though. I don't want to come out here and say like, oh, I've seen a lot. I really haven't seen as many as like other people have, unfortunately. What are some of your favorite movie scores and soundtracks? Someone that knows the difference. I love it. So many other people think that they're one and the same. So, favorite movie soundtracks. Drive. Drive is definitely one of my favorite movie soundtracks, hands down. Um, There's some other ones. I'm trying to think off the. I'm more of a score kind of person, for sure. Like some of my favorite movie scores, American Beauty, anything by Thomas Newman, I love pretty much, except for his Spectre score. So anything Thomas Newman, absolutely adore. Um, the Thin Red Line, the score for that I think is excellent. I love the score also for Being John Malkovich, which is hard to find, surprisingly. Like it's very melancholy esque, but I think it's awesome. Grand Budapest Hotel also. Um, and then let me see. I'll have to get back to you on soundtracks. I'm drawing a blank, unfortunately. Oh, wait. Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange, 2001: A Space Odyssey. I always get that confused because I always think that's the score, but it's not really. It's actually a soundtrack because it's all music that has been utilized in the past. But yeah, good questions, Wes. Good questions. Paul Logan, let's go, Chad. Road to 5,000. I think he meant to say 500, but hey, let's get to 5,000 too. His question is, what movie has affected you most, and what mindset do you have to understand art? Um, so what movie affected me the most? Well, I would say recently. It's a good question. I would say recently, or at least over the summer, I think The Tree of Life really had an impact on me. The Tree of Life was very thought provoking. Prisoners, as I mentioned earlier, changed my life. Carol. It's a lot. It's a loaded question. I like that though. It's a loaded question. There's a lot of movies that have affected me the most. The Wailing, I think, really kind of changed my perspective on directing and just how important it is. Good question though. Now answer Connor. I'll answer your question in just a second in the live chat. But I just want to answer Paul Logan's question first. And what mindset do you have to understand art? Open mindedness. If you put filmmaking in a box or the lack thereof of understanding it, I think that you're going to be missing out on things. You're going to watch certain things and you're going to hate it, even though, the general consensus is that it's great. Now, I'm not saying that every movie that everyone else loves is great, especially in terms of art house filmmaking, but just go into it like with a blank sheet of paper almost in terms of like don't go into it really knowing any hype or certain things. Just go into it. That's the best way possible, I would say, because immediately if you hear a movie's a masterpiece or if you hear a movie's terrible, your guard's already going to be up. That's the best way of saying it. Just be open minded to understand art. I think that's the best possible way, because otherwise you're gonna be doing yourself a disservice. That was honestly me when I started out being like a film critic. I just like what got me into being a film critic was the movie Hannah. I didn't understand why the score and the soundtrack were the way that they were. I didn't understand why the action was shot the way it was, or the themes, messages. So I just was missing out on a great movie, and I decided to rewatch it like 4 or 5 years ago. And my goodness, I rewatched it, and I love it. I love Hannah now, but Hannah was a movie that is a prime example of if you go into it with the right mindset, you'll appreciate it. If you are someone that wants your movies a certain way and that's it, you're gonna have a tough time in the like you're gonna have a tough time watching films than ones that other people haven't. I mean that other people haven't seen, at least in terms of mainstream media. So, good question, Paul. To answer your question, Connor, this is just mirrored as the effects on Cheetah from Wonder Woman 84 trailer look awful. I wouldn't say awful, but I would just say that movie, I'm not looking forward to it. I'll probably watch it, but I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't say it looks terrible, but it doesn't really look great, especially when like I don't know. I feel like with that movie, you can definitely tell what was in the camera versus what was done in post production, which is a shame. But I get where you're coming from. It's not exactly like it's going to win best visual effects. A couple months later, wins best visual effects. All right, so we're almost done. Divian Joshi. Did I say that right? Divian Joshi. What film experience has emotionally overwhelmed you the most? I kind of said it earlier. The Wailing, I think, really emotionally overwhelmed me when I saw that last year. I just was overwhelmed by the direction and the unpredictability. Go back 6 years ago, The Prisoners, when I saw that in December of 2013, it affected me so much I didn't watch a single movie for almost a week, just because I wanted that movie to marinate in my head. Um, it stuck with me, man. It really did. I love it. So I would say those two. The Wailing is the most recent example I can honestly say. I think that's all the questions, though. All right. So, all right. Connor Holt, Tim Burton versus Guillermo del Toro. Oh, geez, that's not fair, man. That's tough. I'm actually planning to rank Guillermo del Toro's films soon. I have one more of his films to watch, Kronos, I think. Um, I think Guillermo del Toro might take the cake because uh he has Pan's Labyrinth, which is a masterpiece. I think that Tim Burton has two movies that are near masterpieces, Sweeney Todd and then Ed Wood. Guillermo del Toro has Pan's Labyrinth, which is a masterpiece, and then Shape of Water, I think, is a near masterpiece. His other movies, I'll save for the review and everything. I mean, the ranking. But I also wanted to say I apologize in advance. I still haven't filmed. I've played around with my top 25 films of all time list. I have played around with that. I just haven't released it or anything. I am planning to do that. I also am planning to do a top 10 comedies of all time list, as well as top 10. Wait, there's top 10 of what was the other top 10? Let me see. Let me go to my list. So yeah, so I'm doing top 10 favorite comedies of all time, top 10 favorite animated films of all time as well. Um, and then I filmed already top 10 Academy Award Best Picture winners ranked, and then top 10 worst Best Picture winners ranked. So I have those two already filmed. I also have James Cameron's films ranked, which will be coming out soon. And I need to get on the other ranking lists to do, like the director list. I'm almost done a lot of them, but I also still need to watch the Trial of Chicago 7, as well as the movie Cuties. Yeah, and then Mank comes out in um, a little bit less than 2 weeks. So I have a lot of catching up to do. So, kind of hope Big Fish Fry is to be my favorite Burton film. Um, I get that it's up there for me, but by no means is it like my favorite. Um, I just remember thinking it was kind of like slow when I saw it. Well, at this point, to be fair, I saw it 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. So it has been a while, but that was just what I remember. I do remember it being well filmed, and like even McGregor's always great. But I respect your opinion. I definitely get where you're coming from. Um, but yeah, so those are just some updates. Currently still working on my film. I thought that it would be have it finished like probably before I finished Incisor, like because Incisor took me uh like 7-8 months, and right now I'm at July, August, September, October, November. I'm at 5 months, so taking around the same amount of time it would appear to be, but to be fair, COVID-19 is also kind of like back, so which is annoying. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap things up, guys. Just are there any other questions? It looks like I have only 5 people watching. What the heck? Usually it's like the first 10 minutes that's around this amount, and then after that it's like a lot more. So what the heck, guys? Come on, I know there's someone that wants to ask a final question. Campbell M, congrats, man. Thanks, man. I answered. I wasn't sure if you were late or not, but I did answer your question earlier on the in the live stream. Any other questions? Okay, here we go. We got 2 questions now. Um, all right. So I'll answer these three, and then I'll end it. The reason why I say it is just because I do have to, do some other stuff before work tomorrow. Campbell M says I saw Letterboxd. You watched Rushmore. That is one of my favorite West films. Yes. So, that's something I also forgot to tell you guys. I think I'm going to be doing another Criterion video because I bought a bunch. I bought way too many Criterion Blu-rays. I pretty much bought all of Wes Anderson's Criterion movies. I bought Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou, which I'm planning to maybe watch tonight. I also bought the Grand Budapest Hotel, which I already own on Blu-ray, but I bought that as well. Moonrise Kingdom. Royal Tenenbaums, Darjeeling Limited. So the only one I don't own on Blu-ray is Bottle Rocket. Um, but and I bought a bunch of others. So I think I'm going to do a video of just like showing you guys what else I have, because if you watch my Criterion Collection, video, it's different now. Like, so I'll have it as like part two. Um, but yeah, Rushmore, great movie. I'm glad I bought it, because here's the thing: I liked it when I saw it like 6, 7 years ago, but I was like, I never came back to it, which I don't know why, because I do remember enjoying it, but I think it just didn't really stick. This time around, definitely stuck. I can definitely see why it's one of your favorites. I love it. I think it's a great movie. Um, Connor Holt, Lakia versus Ardman. Oh, that's uh, I would say Lakia. Only reason why I'm saying that is simply put, just because of missing Link. But both companies are great. I do love claymation. And then West Productions last will be the last comment before I'll end this. Sorry, man, I ended up joining the stream late. I'm gonna go back and watch the rest. But congrats if I went subs. Can't wait to see the new content. Hey, it's fine, man. I get it. Around this time of night, I know a lot of people are usually busy, but I wanted to do it later on the night instead of earlier, because I know a lot of people also are, obviously sleeping in on Sundays. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate your support, man. And you saying that, I'm your favorite, YouTuber, that means a lot. It really does. So I hope to be able to continue to bring great content that you enjoy. Um, and yeah, like I said, I'll try to keep you guys in the loop with new content. Like I said, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, you best believe I'll be using that community tab. I just need to get to it, because YouTube's restrictions, where it's like, oh, you got to have 1,000 subscribers to do this. It's like, oh, lovely. So, but anyways, guys, again, thank you very much for your support. Here's to getting close to 600. We can do it, guys. You guys are the best. Again, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys later.